Hey everyone, it's another great day, and we're here with the Business Transformation Show. I'm so excited with T. Allen Haynes.
Yay.
T. Allen Haynes is in the room, and also my co-host from Future Media TV is Marion LaSalle to add comments, maybe a heckle or two. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, right? So Tracy, thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge and transformation with the audience. So tell us a little bit about what you have going on and what we can expect today.
Yes, today is, first off, thanks for the folks tuning in. We really appreciate it. We're here every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. to continue the conversation. And generally, we have a guest, authors that are participating in other projects, but today we get the opportunity to continue the conversation about, awakening and how to discover your talents and use those talents to earn a living.
Ooh,
And
I like that.
share those 10 steps. We went through 3 of them in the last episode, so I encourage you to go back and watch the previous episode. And when we left off, we were talking about making a decision and being decisive. And that part of being decisive includes a part about who you're hanging around with. What type of people are you associating with? And I asked you to keep track of that for the next 7 days from the last show so you could identify the conversations that you're having with people. What are you talking about? Are you talking about politics? Are you talking about the $15 minimum wage? Are you talking about, what's that conversation about? Because it's different. You have different conversations when you're an entrepreneur or when you're out there sharing your message to the world and your expertise. You're having different conversations with different people, and you have to be mindset or have a conscious observation of what you're talking about. And there's 10 steps to it that we can help you with. So start thinking about the people that you're talking to, and if it's not positive and uplifting, you have to make a decision to continue to having conversations with them, is basically the bottom line. And I'm not talking about being mean. I'm talking about figuring out exactly the conversation you're having, and is it moving you forward to where you want to be, or is it stalling you?
How much is involved in self-awareness, Tracy? Well, the first conversation we need to have is with ourselves.
Oh, right? Man, I was thinking that as he was talking, that
weren't you
talking to ourselves that way?
Yeah, it's like, okay, what's the conversation I'm having with myself inside my head about my reality? Because that helps us define who else we're going to bring into our life and have a conversation with. So I think that's important for us to understand first and foremost and I don't want to derail the conversation because I know you have a specific subject you want to have a conversation about, but that popped into my head, so I couldn't.
No, and that's all. Well, that's a perfect segue because we're segueing right into mentality and mindset. And you basically have to clean your glass, so to speak, to move forward in this new realm of how you're thinking and how you awaken. You folks, Marion and Russ, are entrepreneurs. You're stepping out there doing, different things and trying different things, and you have a different mindset. Entrepreneurs have a different mindset than other people that are just fixed into being an employee or doing something other than being an entrepreneur. I'm not saying that's bad, but it's just a different mindset.
That is true.
Mentality set.
That is so true.
And the next is about mentality. And because you basically have to start reprogramming your thought processes. Now, people get scared when they think about reprogramming, but let me tell you something. If you're watching television, why do you think they call it programming?
Ooh.
Why do you think? Why do you think it's called programs? They're, depending on who you talk to, they'll tell you the biggest evil thing in the world is the
That's why I haven't owned
set.
one since '95.
So, is that the difference between being an entrepreneur and somebody else? Is how long or often you watch television? Think about it. Marion, how many hours of television do you watch?
Unfortunately, I'll tell you, I watch a lot of television, but mine are, I do. But my shows are based upon things that I want to watch that educate me, like the Nova Channel and Science Channel and all the things that are important to me. I love television, but I don't go for the stuff, the bang bang and, everybody's killing everybody. I don't go for that.
The sitcoms and the
I like the reality shows that are based upon people, developing businesses like the Shark Tank and Beyond the Tank. Absolutely. I mean, I watch a lot of television, but I'm very selective about what I watch.
There you go. There's the key word. Be very selective. I watch Shark Tank as my favorite show. Why? Right. Because it's about business. I'm very selective on how I allow that program. It goes back to who you're hanging out with. I mean, you're the sum total of 5 people you hang out with. So those 5 people, are they in a position to where you want to be, or are you on the same journey? Are you connecting in a way that uplifts each other and moves everybody forward? So think about that. So your mentality is, every hour you've got to be thinking of what's going into your head, or what are you watching? And you can control it by putting positive things into your head daily, if not hourly. And you can do that by watching YouTube channels. You can do that by listening to mentors that have gone before us, that have got a track record in helping people change.
Well, one of the big advantages
and it's an entirely different shift.
Yeah, I was just going to say one of the biggest advantages we have right now in this day and age, and this is our whole premise with Future Media TV and what we're doing at Agency 258 is we are taking streaming media, both audio and video. We have access to podcasts that can educate us, audio files. When we're driving down the road, we can actually invest our time in education very easily. We can actually get on shows like this and bring people together to actually engage in these conversations, much like the value that you're sharing today, Tracy. I mean, there's so many things that we have to invest time in that we need to actually decide that it's going to be a valuable piece of our day, right? So let's use it to our advantage.
Yes, and you have a choice, and it takes discipline. If you're walking around and you're filling your head with negativity, that stuff stays in your head unless you replace it with positive stuff. And it has to be a conscious effort for you to put that positive stuff into your head. And you do that by reading. You do that by listening to positive inputs on how you can improve your life and the position, where you want to go or what you want to learn. You have to make a conscious effort of that. and be very careful and guard what is coming in. And television is a big influence, and it can be positive or negative. They can't live both in the same, you got to have either positive or negative. So make sure you choose the right one. And you can fill your head with the wrong thoughts. Okay, I have a question for you,
Tracy. So as you were talking about replacing negativity with positive inputs, I was thinking, yes, okay, we all have negative things that come at us during the day. We maybe get a phone call. Maybe we have to go to a job that is filled with negative people and negative comments. And I don't know, there's a lot of different things. Even our own family can bring negativity to us. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, so because we are human and negativity does come at us every single day from different places and different people, we need to replace that with positive inputs. So when our head starts thinking about the negative things that have been happening to us, what should we first say to ourselves? What's the first thing we should say to ourselves after something negative has happened?
This has been a challenge since, humanity, because we are humans and we have what's called a conscious and a subconscious. And that subconscious is made to protect you. It's made to alert you and identify things that are going to hurt you and get you into harm's way. So it tells you, even though you think it's positive, it could say, your subconscious say, no, that's not positive. But the hardest thing that a human has to do or has to learn is to control their thought processes. By
we missed that.
Telling those little angels on your shoulder to sit down.
We missed that, Tracy.
I appreciate your input.
Tracy, I'm sorry you broke up just as you were starting to answer.
Repeat that last statement, please.
So the biggest challenge in humanity, or for man and women, is to control their thought processes. And because you have a conscious and a subconscious, right? So your subconscious always is there to try to keep you from harm's way, and it talks you in a direction to keep you safe. So when you have these negative thoughts in your head, you have complete control over your mind. So you tell them to sit down. I appreciate your input, but I have this totally under control, and this is a positive thing. And we talked about this in the last episode, is when you get these negative attacks from people that are around you about what you're doing or how you want to do it, is because they're afraid that you're going to go to a place that they're not comfortable with or they're not part of. So they don't want you to think that way. They want you to think the way that they think because it's comfortable there. And they haven't taken the time to improve their thought processes or improve their ability to think differently.
Right.
Right. So that's when you decide to move away from those folks that are negative. You have to completely move yourself away from them, because you won't be able to get better or improve with your life and what you're trying to do. And it takes mental toughness. I recommend you read the book Mental Toughness by Steve Seibel. He's a major speaker and author. And it takes mental toughness. This stuff can't happen overnight. And you have to continue the input of positive self-talk. I mean, we're hardest on ourselves. We're our biggest critic. So create self-talk, and don't be so hard on yourself, but grow and expand and input positive information. So when those times of challenge, you're prepared.
What's the gentleman's name that wrote Mental Toughness? Easy.
Steve Seibold.
Okay.
He studied athletes and successful people and discovered, how these people overcome these challenges and overcome negativity. And very effective, especially with self-talk. Google self-talk and see what brings that back. And there's even programs out there, or tapes, or not tapes, podcasts and audio files that you can download on your phone and listen to these self-talk feedback loops. And you begin to literally reprogram your thought processes. Okay, your brain is an amazing computer, and you can effectively start changing the way that you see things in life for the better. Highly recommended. So, anything else on mentality?
Just the statement that always comes to mind for me, Tracy, is growth happens outside your comfort zone. Yeah, and it's just a matter of, okay, I have to get used to being uncomfortable, because that's the only way you're going to grow. It's all here.
All the magic begins outside of the comfort zone. That is a true statement. And we're all speakers, we're all entrepreneurs, and some of the biggest fears out there are getting in front of people, much like this. I mean, some people are not capable of coming onto something like this platform. And, to get past that is you simply have to face your fears and do it and challenge those fears and just come on, because not everybody started out as an amateur. I mean, every expert was an amateur from the beginning, and they weren't perfect. And, you just got to get in the game and start doing it and start learning these things to help you.
I was going to say, I saw a great quote the other day. Nobody landed at the top of the mountain.
Yeah. Nobody. That's a good one. So our next point is talent. What is your talent? And what we're talking about when we awaken is thinking about how do we impact the world with our talents? How do we get the courage to step out there and do it? And what is it that our message is? I'm telling you, I see this come across the Facebook feed all the time. Is like, we weren't put on this planet to pay bills and just survive. Okay, that's a false
right
reality. But so very few people get past that. I talk about it all the time. I watched my parents do it, and next thing you know, they're gone from the planet. And not saying they didn't have an impact. Of course, we had family and they raised us and all that. But life is so much more. And as a young person, I remember being enlightened by that, by awakening about what we're supposed to do on this planet. And so what are your talents? Think about what it is that you're good at. What is it that you love to do? And what is it that people are paying you for? Or what is it that you're doing for free for people that can be turned into an income source?
Ooh.
So you can get paid to do it. That's your talent. What is that talent? So I challenge you to identify it. And, you know, what are strangers have told you that you're good at? So what I want you to do between now and the next show is write down and identify 3 to 5 things that you're talented at. Because I assure you that people are making money on the things that they're talented at. Or develop a skill that you love and become talented at it so you can market that and earn an income from it. There's never been a better time in the history of humanity to take your talent and your skill set and earn a living at it. So that's the whole point of Awaken. How can I impact the world and how can I leave a legacy? It's scary to step out there. A lot of our listeners have jobs, and you know we've all been there. We've all had jobs. What do you call us, Russ?
We're corporate orphans.
Is that the word you use? So you know, find the talent and figure out and believe what you're the best at, so you can be paid for
it. It's amazing though, Tracy.
Okay.
When you think about how, because that's internal self-talk, right? Why would anybody want my stuff? Why would anybody want to listen to me? And so as an individual, you really need to think outside the box, and you need to actually, you know, ask your friends, ask people around you, what is the gift that really lights you up when I start talking about it, or I start sharing about it, or I help people with? You know,
right.
What is that called? What does that do? Is it, you know, there's something, and I'm also, you know, resonating with your statement of right now is the best time in the history of mankind, humanity. We have the tools, we have the access. You cannot reach more people than right now.
Right now.
I mean, it's only going to increase in size. So 5 years ago, this was not even possible. So,
and here's a point that I want to make is don't discount anything, or don't discount something where you say, oh, well, people, you know, they're not interested in that, or they wouldn't think, or they wouldn't pay me for that.
I have another one. I have mentioned this to people over the past few years, and one of the responses I got really took me back, and I really didn't know how to reply, and that was, well, if I did it for money, then it wouldn't be fun anymore. I'm really good at this or that, but I only want to do it as a hobby, not as you know, something I make money at. I thought, well,
you can certainly do it as a hobby for sure. You know, we're talking about transitioning into something besides a job to earn an income, because we're so programmed that the only way to earn a living is to work for somebody else and have that income. But you certainly can have hobbies, and maybe you're not ready to, you know, be paid for that. And that's certainly an option for you, and certainly a mindset that's out there. But there's one saying out there, is that we were born to win.
I like that.
But we've been conditioned to lose.
Wow.
Think about that.
Or you could say possibly programmed to lose.
Programmed.
The odds are stacked against you.
So don't you feel that it's a little ironic that, let's say, just this thought popped in my head, Tracy, and I just want to get it out here for a conversation, is education process was developed in the industrial age. Prior to that, you know, we had artisans, we have craftsmen, we had people doing independent work, and they were paid based on their ability to deliver goods and services and their craftsmanship to the population, right? When the industrial age took over, a lot of the families and friends and the farmers moved into a factory from the farm, blacksmiths and sharecroppers and people out there in the fields working. They moved into a factory and started working for a wage. And that's where the school system really got disciplined. And they took the model from a military model where it was, because that's the only way that they could educate lots of people quickly over time, correct? So do you think that there's an awakening taking place where people are saying, wait a second, I don't necessarily need to work in an industrial complex in order to provide value to the world, to the planet? So it's going full circle now to where the idea and the concept is I don't have to necessarily follow the trend of everybody that is taking this route. Look at the college debt that we have and how many people are not able to utilize that talent that they received in education process. Right. And then you look at all the education available on the internet, even for free, and how much experience we could achieve by helping others provide that experience and that growth and that education by helping each other. Is that an awakening happening right there?
Absolutely. You see all these people coming out of corporate America that have these skills, yes, has these talents, and they want to, enter the marketplace as a coach or a consultant based on their skills. And that's the next thing I want to talk about is skills. What skills can you get, or what skills can you improve on that you already have to enter the marketplace so you can market yourself to relieve the pain in the marketplace? Because you're always going to have people that are satisfied for working for somebody else.
Yes. Okay? That's what they're. That's what they feel comfortable.
You're always going to have and you're going to have people, or we're always going to need people to wash our cars. We're always going to need people to be mechanics. We're always going to need people to, be restaurant workers or waiters, in which it's not a bad thing. I mean, I'm not being negative about that, but those are all in that realm of service and helping other people. Right. And you're also going to have some of those people that have a desire to step out of that and become entrepreneurs, or transition into something besides that. Okay. I mean, it's all, think about it. People go to Hollywood, right, to become movie stars.
Right.
And what's the first job that most people take? Waiter, right? So they're hoping to be discovered, right? And just think about, of all the people in the world, there's only 1,800 and some billionaires on the planet.
That's a lot.
Why is that?
It's a lot.
What's the difference between them and us?
What's the difference between them and us?
Mindset. Is it mindset? Is that where you're headed?
It's mindset. Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Do you agree with that, Russ?
So they are they're human. They're all humans. We're all humans, right? We all have the same makeup. We all have the same brain. So how is it that they can be billionaires and we can't? Or do we all have the same opportunity?
I believe in this day and age, we all have the same opportunity.
I will disagree a little bit, okay, but maybe it's not enough to make a difference. But some of us do have parents who give us whatever we want, and we have plenty of money for advertising. And I have seen people have the same talent that I have and the same mental go-getter,
same type of
attitude. And I've seen them soar fast because they had money to advertise and they had money to hire a team. So, I mean, I have seen that does make a difference.
I see. The thing that pops into my head is I've seen artists who actually tell a story where they had to ride the bus to an Apple store where they were mixing their music on a computer in the Apple store off a thumb drive in order to produce their first CD, their first music. And, that helped them develop in their tenacity. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of stories, and I don't know, more millionaires. I don't know about billionaires. I don't know all their stories. I'm sure that there are self-made billionaires, though. Some of those billionaires are probably inherited money, family money, large organizations, that they've had over decades. And I think the key question is do we all have the same opportunities? And I think that we all have the same opportunity to make $1 billion. However, we may not necessarily be using every opportunity to our advantage if that's our goal, right? Because there's a lot of people now that are taking it, they're saying, how much do I really want to, I'm more happy. I want to be happy. I don't want to be rich. I want to be wealthy with experience. I don't want to be rich. Because they could be very happy on, $100,000 a year, right? They don't need $1 million a year to be happy.
Absolutely.
So it's all mindset from my perspective.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to find the point of, what is your definition of wealthy? Wealthy can be different definitions. So once you decide that, and my biggest benefit, I think, of wealthy is controlling your time and having your own time and not having to go to a job every day and give your time to somebody else building their dream. And if you can get your time back, which is the most valuable asset that we have, you're wealthy beyond belief. So I see we're at the top of the hour, and great conversation.
Wow,
that 30 minutes went quite fast. And let's tune in next week. We'll continue the conversation, and a couple things. I have a new book coming out called The Authority Code, and you can get on the pre-list at theauthoritycodebook.com. Check it out. Get additional 5 free videos for getting on the pre-list. And don't forget, Russ Johns and Marion LaSalle are also featured in the Lone Star Media book on with other professionals on how they're changing the world with what they're doing. And so I want to thank you guys for producing the show. I really appreciate it. And thanks to the audience that showed up. And make sure you subscribe and continue the conversation every Tuesday at 10:30. I'm T. Allen Haynes. We'll see you the next time.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.